Module 4 is about green economy indicators. In this case, we are going to review what are the main indicators frameworks that are being used by international organizations, and we'll focus our attention to the need to develop a set of customized indicators rather than to use a standard overall universal list of indicators for assessing policy. We're going to be looking at how to measure history and progress towards a green economy, but also how to look forward, how to start now to assess what is the potential impact of policies that are being designed and formulated to reach stated goals. So to do this, we'll use an approach that mimics or follows the policymaking process, meaning that we need to identify indicators that work well and that can contribute to every specific step of the policy process. So we are considering in this case issue identification indicators to understand what are the problems, if they're driven by environmental performance or if they're caused by the lack of natural capital or depreciation of natural capital. We'll then look at policy formulation indicators. These are the new ones. These are the ones for which we have no data because there are new policies that are going to be implemented. But it is very important to track them because we need to know how much we want to spend on a policy or what level of subsidy or incentive you're allocating for a specific activity or removing in the case of fossil fuel subsidy, for instance, so that in the future we can track whether the policy was successful in raising the investment required and as a result in solving the problem that was identified. Also, given that we focus on green economy, we want to look at indicators for the assessment of policies across social, economic and environmental dimensions. This means that indicators for policy assessment will have to include a measure of the employment created, for instance, and the income that was created, as well as the economic performance, if value added was created by implementing a certain intervention, or whether certain costs were avoided. So if we implement energy efficiency interventions, we want to see how much was saved in terms of household expenditure, for instance, on energy that now is not being consumed because the investment was made in some more efficient technologies. At the same time, we want to track the environment. So for interventions that have to do with energy, for instance, we want to look at emissions, whether we were able to reduce emissions to reach stated targets, 26 to 41% at the national level, or for instance, the state of the environment with ecosystem services. If we keep forests in place, we want to see what is the capacity of land to provide water provisions for water catchment or water purification. So we do have at the assessment level, we do have to select indicators that allow us to track social, economic and environmental performance of the policies that we will want to implement. Now this is very important also for policy monitoring and evaluation, the fourth group of indicators, where we merge together all the indicators that we have identified so far to make so that we can test whether the problem was solved with the issue identification indicators, whether the policy was successful in leveraging investments with the policy formulation indicators, and also whether we managed to reach social, economic and environmental goals with the policy assessment indicators. If we're able to track all of them over the next few years and decades, then we'll really be able to measure whether we are making good progress towards a green economy, looking backwards but also looking ahead with the new policies that are being implemented.